So the blighted content is generally my go-to money maker currency strategy for the past 2 leagues. That's how I make my mage blood, and that's how I make my custom crit build, evolving from just like a very budget friendly to like a end game. I will just tell you how do I make my currency using the blights and some kind of tips and tricks that you may find interesting. So in the background, what you are seeing is just me doing a T16 toxic sewers, and that this is just a normal blighted encounter that you're gonna encounter while just doing the mapping. Generally, the blight is just, I would consider, a tower defense league, where you're just defending the pump and you're trying to kill as many monsters as you can. So the most of the rewards that you're gonna be getting while mapping and doing the blighted encounters is from the chest. This is a very good advantage for us, as on the passive tree there is some lucky chest that plays in our favor. But what does that mean is, by simply just clicking the chest, we're gonna be getting the rewards, and we don't have to put any kind of crazy strategies by running 100% delirium or anything like that. So you can just do a very basic strategy, such as putting your map, getting a scarab, ruining your blighted encounter, and clicking some chest, and you're gonna be getting reward. If you repeat that enough time on your favorite map, you will get enough currency that you will improve your build no matter what. So the video is gonna be split in a different section when I'm gonna be talking about what kind of anointment we're gonna be using on our rings that's gonna help us with our blight encounters and blight maps, and there's gonna be a different section when I'm gonna be talking about the oils and how to approach pricing and selling the oils as well. So now you can see what kind of loot I'm getting just from the blighted encounters while I'm mapping. So this is a very quick TLDR for people who don't necessarily want to watch the full video or listen to what I have to say. So the strategy basically involves into the running toxic sewers, using the gilded scarab. This will just give me every single time the most amount of loot I can get from my blighted encounter, and once I drop enough blighted maps, I will just sit down and do a whole day of blighted maps. That's the basic TLDR I can give you for the strategy. So picking the right map for the blighted encounters is a little bit tricky, because it really depends on your build. For example, my build I'm playing a custom crate ice spear. So for me, the best map are like very close indoor map, such as like toxic sewers, and the maps like dunes that are very open. Since I do not have too much explosions, the only way that I can get some kind of additional clear, it's from my Herald of Ice, and this is not necessarily the best way to clear full packs in like a blighted encounter, but it does help out a little bit. But if I'm gonna be running my blighted encounters on dunes, I might encounter some problems, such as I might get like a X. If you imagine like a X, there's one lane over here, over here, over here, and over here, and I will have very hard times defending that as a cyclone build. But if you run some kind of, let's say, a Doom Blast, and you have a lot of explosions, because for example you're running this on Occultist and you're using Profane Bloom, so the dunes might be quite good for you. So you always have to test out your capabilities of your build, which maps is ideal for you. But if you just want to stick with like a solid map, Toxic Sewer is good to go. So we're gonna be using 2 anointments on your rings. The first one is the Chilling Tower, freezes for 0.2 seconds. This is absolutely great. If you put 2 chilling towers together, they're gonna be freezing the whole lane. It's absolutely fantastic, and I would recommend you getting this. The second anointment that I'm using, this is like, I would say, this is like a flexible. If you find you can use something different, but I found this working very well. It's the Meteor Tower, leaves the burning ground. So the combination of the Meteor and the Chilling Tower, if you do something like you put 1 chilling tower over here, another chilling tower over here, and you put at least 1 Meteor Tower, this is gonna be clearing the lanes very easily and greatly help you out with the blighted maps and the blighted encounters. So let's talk about Scarabs right now. So whenever you're running a map, any map, you would always want to have yourself a roasted Scarab. This will guarantee you the Blighted encounter. Well, ideally, you want to run a gilded Scarab, because a gilded one would just give you more loot, will give you the Blighted encounters, and will give you additional Blight boss. And the Blight bosses drops the jewelry that's anointed. So ideally, you will want to run all the time the gilded Scarab. But if you just start in this and you don't have the currency to buy the gilded one, the roasted one will be good enough for the time being. So I'm dividing the Blighted oils in two different sections. The first section is you want to get as many crimson oil as you can get. So I would upgrade all of those oils until I get myself as many crimson oils as I can. The second section is I would upgrade from the black oil up to the golden oil. I would never ever upgrade a crimson oil into the black oil, as you're gonna be needing a lot of crimson oils for your blighted maps. And then you wanna upgrade your black oils into the golden oils. Even if you look on the currently trading, the silver oil costs about 20C and the golden oil costs about 55C. So you're losing about 5C converting 3 silver oils into the golden oil. But it's much easier just to sell 1 golden oil instead of sitting in your hideout and trying to sell 3 silver oils. So if you're wondering why do I need so many crimson oils, the crimson oils are one of the best that we can farm relatively, and they are relatively cheap because you're paying about 1.5 to about 2C per a crimson oil, and the crimson oil adds 12 blighted chests are lucky. This will significantly increase your profit from your blighted maps. So you always want to apply crimson oils on your blighted maps. Now I'm going to explain you how exactly the oil extractor works. The oil extractor simply works by right clicking and left clicking the oil extractor on your amulet or a ring. It will extract the oils anointed on the jewelry. In this example, I have dropped myself from like a blight boss on a blight encounter, a breath of flame. So if we look on the passive tree, the breath of flame is located over here, and the oils that I can get are golden, azurite, verdant. Obviously the golden is the way that we want to go, because that's the most value that we can get. So if I click right and left, we got the azurite. The next one is written in blood. Written in blood is an anointment over here, and it gives us another chance for the golden oil. So let's see what happens. And unlucky. So the blighted chests are lucky. This is one of the most powerful anointment that we can do on our blighted maps using the crimson oil, or we can get it from the Atlas passive tree over here, those 3 nodes over here. So why this is so powerful? So if the chest is considered a lucky by the game, the chest always gonna be clicked twice, and the better outcome, what you're gonna get from this chest, that's what's gonna drop on the ground. So what do I mean by you're gonna get a better outcome on the floor? So the lucky chest always plays in our favor. So if we click on the chest and let's just say this chest over here is a lucky one, the game will always give us the better reward. So how does it work? It's simply the game, we click on the chest says, okay, you're getting amber oil, then the game says, okay, this chest was a lucky, let's do it another try. The game rolls the dice for you again, and let's just say you were lucky, you're getting the black oil, and that's what you're gonna see on the black oil. That's why the lucky chests are very powerful, because you're always gonna get a better outcome no matter what. So one of your first points in the blighted encounters should be over here. Simply for the blighted chests are lucky, and there's 2 additional points over here. Those 3 points are not necessarily recommended, you can click on them, but if you're struggling for the points, you can skip them. This is just simply gives you a blighted encounter on your map device, and the blighted encounter is gonna show up over here. One of the nodes makes it 50% reduced, so I'm guessing if you don't have it, the blight encounter will cost you 8C, and that's ridiculous unless you're playing some kind of SSF. The second cluster that you should be rushing as fast as you can is them two. They go hand to hand, because on this one the you have a 10% chance to drop the oil extractor, and your oil have a chance to be 25% a tier higher. But if you look on this, the map bosses drops anointed jewelry, so you can use your oil extractor. So those two clusters go hand to hand. But if you have to pick which one is more important, I would say this one, just simply for the 25% chance of the higher tier oils. But then you would go over here for the anointed jewels from the bosses. And then lastly, you go over here. This will make the Blight encounters really hard. That's why I did say that the toxic sewers are very ideal map for in case in my build. If you're struggling with the Blighted encounters because your build is not yet fully geared, you can respect those 3 points for now. Or you can invest a couple more points over here. This will reduce the cost of the towers, and that might help you out greatly by just quickly building the chilling towers and getting your Blighted encounter much easier. But this, like I said, this will make the Blighted encounter way more harder because there's gonna be spawning way more monster and they're gonna be way more faster, so you might end up dying really easily. So let's put the knowledge into a test and see how we're gonna be performing with everything that you did learn from the video. So first thing, you should open a portal somewhere safe, far away from the mobs, in case you need to go out and do a quick trade or you're gonna accidentally die. On the bottom of the screen you can see all of the Blight lanes, and you can see the first 2 lanes are active right now, and they're gonna give us a 5 reward and 6 rewards when we're gonna complete them, and they have no resistance, so that's good for us. So if you look on the left, the 3rd lane is already having a chilling resistance, so our chilling towers will not be doing too much to those monsters. So we want to build a different defensive tower that can stop those monsters. Some Blight lanes have an additional icon on top of them that just tells you there's gonna be a boss on that lane. So my general strategy that I'm gonna be approaching on this atoll map, since it's an open map, and this is not too ideal for me, I'm gonna be relatively very close to the pump, and I'm gonna be building 2 chilling towers and 1 meteorite tower to help me out with clearing the monsters. And at the beginning I'm gonna be moving far away from the pump, just to get a little bit of a points, just to build up to the towers. And near the pump you're gonna see me building a lot of those freezing cage towers, just to stop the monsters, because occasionally some kind of odd one might slip by and just might damage the pump, so you don't want to do that. So at this point I'm not gonna be talking anymore, you're just gonna see me how I'm performing and how I'm doing my Blighted maps. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you're gonna have a lot of loot from the Blighted encounters and the Blighted maps.